With that being said, let's jump right into the news with our lead story of the day between John Kirby and another man. This man's a national treasure. He works for Fox News, and we have coined a term for him. If you hear this term anywhere else, you know who came up with it. Us here at the Bald Brad Show. The man is a myth. He is a legend. He is the gladiator. Yes, folks, Peter Doocy is going up against John Kirby regarding Biden's messaging on China and how soft it's been. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I'll come back there and Peter and then I'll come back.
Thanks, John. Why is it that over the last couple months, President Biden's been so much tougher on Russia than he is on China?
I wouldn't agree with the premise of the question, Peter.
Well, I think when Russia was getting aggressive around Ukraine, the president was out every couple days telling Putin, don't do it. And now China is getting aggressive around Taiwan, and we're not hearing anything like that from the president.
Oh, beg to differ. We've been standing up here for almost a week, Peter, talking about...
Peter, I beg to differ. By the way, if you notice, he didn't know how to answer at the beginning. So once again, Peter Doocy's coming out with just a right hook, and he's never prepared for it. He was stunned the other day regarding this whole debacle with China and Taiwan and Nancy Pelosi going there. Didn't know how to answer it. Now he just comes out with the answer of like, well, I just disagree with your premise, Peter, of the question. That's just a short form of, I don't know what the hell I'm going to say. I don't know how to answer this. And first of all, it doesn't matter if you disagree with the premise of the question. It's a question that deserves an answer, and the American public are looking for that answer, of which you're not willing to give one. So this is the charades from the White House. This is the continued messaging that they want to push here, either dodging the question, not answering the question, spinning the question, or just outright lying about whatever questions presented to them in the form of some sort of answer that they're willing or not willing to give us. Now, the messaging just sucks from Joe Biden. And notice he's like, well, we've been up here for the past week. Yes, you've been up there, and Karine Jean-Pierre's been up there. Where's the president? It's been 18 months. Folks, I'm not sure, and somebody correct me if I am wrong. I don't think I've ever seen Joe Biden on that podium since he's been president taking the press's questions. Somebody correct me on that, and if I am wrong, please link me the clip so that I can review it and look over it, because maybe one time, but like I said, I don't think I've ever seen the president stand on that podium. I'm talking about Joe Biden in his presidency take questions off the cuff from the press corps in that damn room. So no, he has not been up there. He's been super soft on them. The dude's in his freaking residency going, China, Xi should... Like, that's Joe Biden. That's all we've gotten out of him. But yeah, he's being tough on him.
Our concerns about what China was preparing to do. We put out declassified information that we saw what the Chinese playbook was going to be. Look, I stood at another podium not long ago, and much of the same way we reacted then, we're reacting now in terms of being honest and transparent about what's going on and calling it out for what it is. And then today, talking about exactly what we're going to do to make sure we can help preserve a free and open Indo-Pacific. So I'm afraid I just challenged the premise of your question.
I know you said that there is not a call scheduled with Xi. Is there a reason why? Because President Biden's known him for decades.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of free time up there in the residence this week.
He doesn't have free time.
Is there a reason he can't just pick up the phone and call?
He's been working all the way through his illness, quite frankly, Peter. So that's a little bit insulting. And
it's not really that insulting. I mean, look at the way the economy's ran. You can either look at it as being insulting, or you can look at it as if he has been working, and if he's working that hard to not solve anything, then the guy just sucks at his job. So if he's that busy, according to John Kirby, where he's working through his illness, doing all these things, you got open borders, you got a China and Taiwan problem, you have a Russia-Ukraine problem, you got an Iran problem, you got a North Korea problem, you got a domestic problem with inflation, GDP's in the negative, you got a recession, 2 consecutive terms of negative GDP growth, even though the White House wants to redefine it. I mean, the litany of problems, but he's working hard, folks. This is the same type of messaging when you had Karine Jean-Pierre come out and say, oh, he's doing everything he possibly can to solve the gas crisis, the oil crisis. Yeah, okay. So that's going great. Sure, it's gone down a little bit, but we're still paying in the hundreds of dollars more a month than we were before Joe Biden ever took in office. So this is the messaging. This is the debacle. This is the clown show.
As for a call, it is.
It is. That someone who is isolating by themselves.
You suggested he has a lot of free time as if he's not doing anything, and you know that's not the case, Mr. Doocy. Now look, as for a call with President Xi, I don't have anything on the president's schedule to speak to. If ever the president felt like a
I don't have anything on the president's schedule to speak to. It's filled up. What do you mean? You can't pick one thing of which you have literally China launching missiles near Japan, one of our allies, and Taiwan, 5 of them. You don't have anything to speak to as far as him maybe giving a phone call going, what the hell are you doing? Why are you launching missiles? Why are you doing this? What you like? There's nothing, but he's so busy. He's solving this. It's so important, you guys. All this is just so important. I guarantee you the idiot has a phone call lined up with something about climate crisis. Okay. There's something just lined up with that, I'm sure, regarding putting windmills in the Gulf while you got freaking China launching missiles near our allies as well as Taiwan, encircling Taiwan with 2 of their aircraft carriers, with all these tanks on the border right there of China. But yeah, no, there's nothing on schedule. But hey, he's filled up. According to John Kirby, to Peter Doocy, he's just taken as an insult. Oh, he doesn't have much free time. Anybody believe that?
Was the appropriate way to respond, or that it would have an effect and an outcome that he wants to achieve? He certainly would be willing to do that. He's talked to Xi now 5 times. It's not like he's afraid to pick up the phone and call President Xi. And if there's if a call's the right answer, I'm sure that President Biden will do that. But I'm not going to get ahead of the president on this. I do want to stress. I said it before, but I do think your question begs me to say it again, that the lines of communication are still open with Beijing, and we're using those lines of communication. And I think you'll see that in days to come as well. That's really important. And that's one of the reasons why President Biden made that call a week or so ago, was to make sure, and you saw it in Kareen's readout, to make sure that those lines of communication stay open, and they are.
Wow, just a great phone call. It must have been from the president regarding Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan, and then once she's there and leaves, they just launch missiles. No, that's a great conversation. Clearly the president knows how to negotiate and actually do well in foreign policy. Like John Kirby said, and so did Peter Doocy, he knows Xi. He's been around for decades. He should know how to talk to the guy. He's been vice president before. He loves to do dealings with China. So does his son. You would think he would know how to talk with China about all this stuff and deal with them. But no, he's being soft on them because, like we've said many times, he's in the pocket of the Chinese government. We all know what's going on with Hunter. Nobody wants to admit it. The Democrats don't want to look under the hood with it because they know everything regarding the Democrat Party. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden will be ousted. But you got Donald Trump making a phone call with Zelensky, and you got a freaking whole uproar and investigation going on. You got a few idiot Russians on Facebook that freaking have less power than Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire do, and somehow there's Russian collusion with the election. Go figure all that. Opens up a massive debacle, spends thousands, millions, by the way, of taxpayer dollars on an investigation with Robert Mueller that never came to anything, that basically said, yeah, we don't have anything. Sorry for wasting millions of your dollars for absolutely nothing, of which we already knew there was absolutely nothing out there right out in the open. But this is how the Democrat Party ran. Investigation after investigation on Republicans, no investigations on Hillary Clinton, no investigations on Obama regarding the whole debacle with the IRS. Fast and Furious case. There's a great book called The People vs. Barack Obama, written by Ben Shapiro way back when. Phenomenal book that he wrote. If you want to see the debacle and everything that he could have been possibly tried for, at least went to school for in terms of the court going after him. Furthermore, you also have no investigations on Hunter, really. No investigations on Joe Biden regarding anything that he said on camera, off camera, being the voicemail that he left. You can go on forever about this stuff on which Democrat Party is not willing to do and go after on their own party, hence Joe Biden. You guys get it. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.